The stage has been set. BASILISK Big Brain Bouts number 69, main event. MaxPax versus Lambo. Two guys that obviously have a lot of history with each other. A spicy series. It is not easy to get Lambo to play in one of these. I'm very happy that he's here. Ready when you guys are. It is a spicy match that has been made in Starcraft, Bulgaria. Planned a little bit ahead. I'm excited for this. I'm gonna change the lights. Try to make it epic. Feels epic to me. It's very cool. Very happy that this is the match that we can get ready for. And Lambo is a man who does not like weekly cups, and he will often not necessarily bring his A game in those. Not even on purpose. Sometimes tiny bit on purpose because he wants to hide stuff. This is a series where he's going to do his absolute best. I know that for a fact, and it's going to be hard. And on his stream, he's been able to get a couple of nice ladder wins over Max. But this is obviously not a ladder game. This is a best of 5 with money on the line. Let's do it. Friday night video gaming, by far and away the most skilled highest match of the night, obviously. But so far, everything's been fun. A 3-2, a 3-2, a 3-1. Let's get ready for the main event of the Big Brain Bouts number 69.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight.
Bottom left side, Shopify Rebellion's very own Lambo. One of the best Zergs in Europe, has been for a very long time. And also one of the best pocket players out there in Deadlock. He even has a guide, so if you are, like me, addicted to this new game, you take a little look at the Lambo guide. I heard it's popping off and thousands of people are learning and watching our Starcraft Pro playing Deadlock, which I think is really awesome. Top right side, we are looking at a main base of the Prince of Denmark, who's pretty much always eager and willing to play. Representing Storm Gaming, it is MaxPax. Max already scouted, guys, with his probe, knows that this is all Cyanine, knows that Lambo is willing to get creative and think outside of the box, and he immediately scouts the gold base. And MaxPax does something that he only does if Zerg players take the gold, and that is take a second gateway. Because with the second gate, he's going to be able to get a few more adepts out early, and he's going to try to make this game hell for Lambo with adepts and oracles early on. Already in a spicy, explosive start here to our main event. Because this is not a game where nothing is going to happen for 6-7 minutes and they're both just going to macro. No. This is the kind of game where Lambo is going to try to get away with the gold, and MaxPax is going to do his absolute best to slow him down. But obviously with this opening, MaxPax also slows himself down. This is a big investment. It delays the Nexus for at least a solid 20-25 seconds. Let's see how good Lambo's defense will be. I like to think that MaxPax is the very best in the business when it comes to early game adept oracle play. And we're about to witness if he still got it, or perhaps the Prince has lost some of his magic. First two adepts of Max are gonna make their way to the gold base of Lambo. Lambo working on this debris so he can make his life a little bit easier in dealing with these adepts. There's a good chance that one of the drones is gonna get sniped here immediately. Whoa! MaxPax actually fired at the debris. That's funny. Why did he fire at the debris? I felt like he could have sniped the drone. Instead he's settling for some of the Zerglings. Gets 3 links, gets out of there, but I think he wants more than just a couple Zerglings. Needs to be very careful, obviously, that he doesn't get surrounded. Lambo moves the queen forward to get a few more hits up. Oh, Lambo looking for a surround. Lambo is so close to grabbing one of the adepts. Does not quite get it. That's mega close. One more random adept shows up without its body. That's obviously bad. Does he get it? No, Lambo saves the drone. Lambo's gaming. One more adept shows up. MaxPax making a tiny error here, right? By making sure that, or allowing adept number 3 to show up before adept number 4 was here. Does have the original, the OG 2 adept show up one more time, and now MaxPax does find some of that drone damage he's been looking for. And he's been working really hard for. He gets 3. I want to say I think this could have maybe gone better for Max if adept 3 and 4 were synced up and they would have shown up at the same time. But since number 3 was a little over eager and showed up way before number 4. Lambo had some really good saves there on the drones. As I told you guys, Lambo, if he agrees to this, he's going to be gaming tonight. And he's going to give it his very best. And MaxPax is obviously the favorite in a lot of the online cups when they run into each other. But This is a tournament Lambo that you guys get to see tonight. Even if he's maybe not played a crazy amount of Starcraft lately, as he has played a lot of Deadlock, but he also did well in Bulgaria. Lambo is the kind of guy that I think always plays some Starcraft, just because he really loves the game. He's been doing it for so long. Loves streaming, loves making content around it. We're gonna hopefully see the very best of him tonight. MaxPax's follow-up is going to be Resonating Glaive Adept with 2 more gates. I wonder if Lambo has seen any of that. Yes, he has with an Overlord. So Lambo knows exactly what is up. Means that he doesn't have to build any Spore Crawlers yet. He's trying to get some creep forward to the center. Has Zerglings surrounding these adepts. Will get a couple of them. That's pretty big. That is pretty big, guys. Especially considering the fact that MaxPax's follow-up is Resonating Glaive Adept. Lambo gets all of them. MaxPax gets punished there, guys, for being a little bit too greedy and trying to snipe that creep tumor over and over again. That was a big loss. Because now we're looking at a base where he's lost 8 adepts and he hasn't really killed a whole lot. The War Prism flies headfirst into the queens. Lambo is low-key cooking here. He does drop a couple Spore Crawlers. Maybe worried about the Dark Shrine follow-up. We know that's not the case. As MaxPax is now just looking for some damage. Lambo playing a very strong game. And MaxPax still just a 2-base Protoss. Lambo looking good here in game 1 on Alcyone. A best of 5. As I said it earlier. It's more of a marathon than a sprint. The first 6 minutes is very important. Kind of set the tone. Just tank a little bit of confidence for yourself. Give yourself the idea that you're sharp today, that you're playing well. But there is still a lot of StarCraft to be played. MaxPax does feel that he is strong enough now to go up to 3 bases. As that first Disruptor is almost out. He did not get too greedy. Clone Observer leading MaxPax's vision here in the center of the map. Allows the War Prism to maybe sneak to the left side, but Lambo left some units behind. 44 free supply for Lambo. Couple of adepts in the center, a lot of adepts in the natural. So MaxPax, who lost 8 adepts earlier, still has 9 adepts on the map right now. Make it 11 even. Means he made 19 in total. Doing a very good job, I think, in keeping Lambo busy. Will he let this Shade finish up? He thought about it, but he decides against it. You seen this from Lambo with ShoWTime on ladder? Yeah, Lambo has some incredibly gnarly pushes where he just brings everything he has to the other side of the map. And Lambo is so good in making his supply explode like no tomorrow. I've had the unpleasant experience when the ladder is very dead once in a while to run into Lambo when he's doing his best. And it's like, you know, I'm just doing my thing. And where regular Zergs would attack me with 9 roaches and a couple lings, Lambo's only maxed out on Roach Queen, Ravager, Ling. I'm like, what the hell? Where did you get from? First 2 Novas though are here, and the drones, they do tend to clump up at the gold. So MaxPax, for the first time in this game, finds great economic damage. War Prism speed done, 2 Disruptors inside of it. Those pushes that we mentioned earlier, though, they're very good against Archon openings, against Zealots, against some of the Blink Stalkers, but it's really hard to attack into Disruptors early. And since MaxPax delayed the 3rd base and prioritized getting a very early Robo Bay, it's very hard for Lambo to go for something among those lines. So he's probably forced to play a bit more of a macro-oriented style. War Prism is back for round 2. That one gets a single drone. This one is going to connect with 2 out of 3 queens. No kills, but lost mining time and some damage. Three adepts would not be enough to deal with all these Zerglings, but I don't think MaxPax really knew about these links. Max is thinking about a move out with a bunch of Stalkers that don't quite have Blink yet and a Colossus, while he's also still busy with his Disruptors. He kills a Queen there, needs to be very cautious obviously with his War Prism. There's his main army here. MaxPax seems confident. He brings... Oh, that could be a big shot. That is a big shot. 7 drones go down to a single Disruptor. As the War Prism takes a lot of damage, but it lives. They're now in a 9-minute game. And Lambo has lost 18 drones. MaxPax playing incredibly well. After the start was okay, but far from perfect. As Lambo was gaming. Now the Adepts are showing up in the natural too. And it's more and more drones falling. Lambo definitely in a bit of trouble. The War Prism is so low, but MaxPax does not care as he just wants more. Needs to be very, very cautious. He should probably care. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? He picks up 2 Disruptors in a War Prism with 1 shield and 2 HP. That boy is crazy. Now Lambo does have Hive Tech, guys. Lambo does have Hive Tech and he fires up 3 Vipers. Max needs to be so careful with his War Prism. It's ridiculous. He's here on the edge of creep. He's going to go for a couple of defensive blinks. He fires a Nova early. Lambo doing a good job here getting on top of these depths. Will he be able to finish off all of them? Yes, that is a hat trick for Lambo. 1 Nova from downtown. MaxPax with the shot. Gets a pretty good connection as he's also killing a few workers from the low ground. Has +1, has a Colossus. He knew. MaxPax crunched the numbers real quick there and said, alright, if I take 1 more Spore Crawler shot, I should be fine with 3 HP. And he was right. There are 3 Vipers, guys. Those Vipers are right now gathering energy. Little Disruptor harass. Oh, MaxPax's harass has been so good this game. That's 4 more. Make it 29 drone, guys. 29 drones in 10 minutes as Lambo is looking for a few abducts. Obviously, if he gets the Colossus here, he's going to be happy. The Stalkers try to stand their ground there and snipe a Viper. But Lambo read that situation correctly. The War Prism is coming in though from the right side. Could drop a Disruptor maybe. I don't think Lambo can really do this, no. He's got 106 army supply, but I just don't think that this Zerg army is good enough. Unless MaxPax really makes a derpy move with the Disruptors. A couple of High Templars get warped in. They can become Archons. They should become Archons. Hello? Nova? Goes through the Stalker army. 1 Stalker is holding the door in the natural as an Archon takes a couple of Corrosive Balls. Archon gets abducted. War Prism saves the Colossus that got abducted. As 1 more Nova flies forward. Stalker should be able to snipe that final Viper. That is not quite the case. But I think with the cannons and the batteries here, the Prince of Denmark should be fine as he blinks forward. He kills 4 of the roaches. Lambo has lost 5,000 resources more here than Max. As that War Prism just can't get enough and is looking for more. MaxPax is incredibly good at this video game if he's feeling it. I saw there was a Reddit thread, by the way. Oh, cast a curse. MaxPax is incredibly good, Kappa. And that's when we see the War Prism die, right, to a couple of queens. Probably should stay away from those kind of statements. But there was a Reddit thread. Somebody saying like, I watched Loco cast a game between Clem and MaxPax. And MaxPax just can't win. What do you guys think Protoss needs? I just love that. I absolutely love that. Like they play 45 best of 5s against each other within 2 months. Loco casts one of them and the guy's like, this is it. I need to talk to the world about it. I saw the games that Loco casted. I don't know if anybody else did, but this needs to be discussed. 6 Zealots walk into the natural. There's a couple of Zealots looking for a run by at the bottom side as well. 4 Colossus, 2 Disruptors, a couple Stalkers, a single Archon and an Observer here in the center of the map. Lambo has done a really good job in many things in this game, but it seems like here in the end in game 1 it is not going to be enough. MaxPax got a little bit fortunate with that War Prism pickup. He's now killing hatcheries, has killed over 40 workers in this game. This hatch is low on HP, by the way, because the Vipers have been leeching energy from it forever. Stalkers blink forward, they snipe it, and that is going to do it for our very first game. 1 fat final Nova is going to be good enough. GG gets skull. 13 minutes and 16 seconds for 55 drones. 0 probes, by the way. That's pretty big. But Lambo definitely had some good moments in the early game. He looked sharp. And if MaxPax loses that War Prism with 2 Disruptors inside of it, probably looks a little different. And El Cyane, of course, a unique map where Lambo decides to take an expand out there in the center of the map, middle of nowhere, just to get some value out of the gold. Knew that MaxPax was going to do whatever he could to slow him down, but Lambo felt confident that he could get away with it, and the early defense was good. It's only the Disruptors that really started finding damage, because it wasn't the Adepts. I think Lambo had a really good answer for most of the Adepts, but it's the Disruptors that kind of turned this game on its head. And game 2 will be played on Golden Aura. That is traditionally a very strong PvZ map. But I'm sure Lambo has a plan for it. That game was super tilting for Zerg to play. I kind of believe that playing against anybody that is incredibly good in this video game is a very tilting experience. Like Starcraft 2 is beautiful, it's a masterpiece. But I can't really think of many situations where I get basically bopped by my opponent if I was playing. And they are just always where I don't want them to be. I always find it frustrating. I very rarely sit back and I'm like, man, that guy, he played so well. That was really fun. I really did my best. I hang in there, but no. He was just everywhere. It very rarely is mega fun, to be honest. But maybe that's just because I've been getting bopped for so long in this game that I don't get angry over losing, but I also very rarely find it enjoyable.
Round 2. Fight!
Top left side of Golden Aura. We are looking at the main base of our German Zerg. He's down 0-1. Getting ready for some fun weeks over in Bavaria. As Oktoberfest is around. I really wanted to make it this year, but I'm not going to be able to make it. But next year, I'll be going to Oktoberfest with the boys. I'll lock it up. It is confirmed. I'm a man of my word. And I promise next year it's Oktoberfest with the boys. This is Shopify, Rebellion, and Lambo. Bottom right side, taking the 1-0 lead after some fantastic Speed Prism disruptor play. Staying on 2 bases a lot longer than we are used to. But that probably had everything to do with what he scouted and the strategy that he went for. Storm Gaming's very own MaxPax. Is Lambo a coach now? No. Lambo is a competitive video gamer. And he's one of the best Zergs in Europe. And also one of the best pocket players in Europe. Maybe the world. I have seen his pocket, and it's impressive. You like beer, right, Anna? Like, I like beer as well, but I'm not normally a guy that drinks beer all night. I'm more of a let's have 2 or 3 beers, or a couple beers in the afternoon if it's sunny and I'm outdoors. I like it. I don't know if I would be like mega keen on drinking beer for the entire evening at an Oktoberfest, but obviously something you gotta try at least once in your life, right? What is pocket play? You mean snooker? No. So there is a new game called Deadlock. Deadlock is basically a mixture of an FPS and a MOBA. And one of the 16 heroes is called Pocket. Pocket is very similar to Puck, the Dota hero. So I'm not talking about the Starcraft 2 player, but the Dota hero Puck. Pocket is basically an FPS version of it. And Lambo is ridiculously good with Pocket. The way you say pocket makes it sound dirty. I mean, his pocket plays are dirty. I'm not going to lie. That man gets in there and he hops into his suitcase and he hops out and then he jumps over everybody and he kills everyone. His pocket is dirty, but I'm not trying to make it sound dirty. I know a lot of you guys just tune in on Monday night or Friday night because you guys know that I'm live. But throughout the weekdays, especially early hours for the Europeans, I've been playing a crazy amount of Deadlock, and sometimes late at night as well. I just think the game is so fun, and I see all the StarCraft 2 boys like Mixu, Elaser, Demu obviously, Lambo, Calazur, they're all playing it. Milky Cow is apparently very good. It is a mega fun game. And really cool to play as well with all the StarCraft 2 boys. Statfast, it is so good. I'm no cap, mate. It's actually so good. It's not an RTS, but it's just so good. As the first 2 adepts of MaxPax are very successful here, I think. I mean, they might fall. Can he get one more drone? He does not. That's a lot of lost mining time. 2 workers falling, couple circlings falling. And is the defense now well set up to deal with that first MaxPax Oracle? I want to say it's not bad. It's actually pretty decent. Lambo loses 2 drones, maybe a 3rd. That's a bit unlucky. Yeah, how do we feel about that, guys? This is Zergy. I think it's the 3.6 Röntgen thingy, right? Not great, not terrible. How can I play Deadlock? All you need is one friend on Steam that has the game. They can invite you. So I could invite you or any of the other 20 nerds out there that are playing Deadlock with me 24/7. We have a Discord channel where you could ask for help. It really is a mega game. Even if you think, FPS is not my thing. Like, I have never played Counter-Strike, the new one, whatever it's called. Not 1.6, but the follow-up. Global Offense. Or Counter-Strike 2, whatever. I've never played it one time. I've never played Valorant. But I love Deadlock. It's just so fun. I do warn you guys, it is omega addictive. It's very early. They don't really have like a polished product yet. But the game is just so good already. It's ridiculous. I'm so impressed. MaxPax is going to do what he does incredibly well, and that is harassing with 2 oracles in one place and then 1 stray oracle somewhere else. Lambo knows about this trick, so he's respecting it, but maybe he didn't quite have the right answer for the initial double oracle harass. As MaxPax finds 4 more workers. Lambo now losing 9 drones in 6 minutes. I don't want to say it's the worst thing ever. If he gets 1 oracle, it's actually okay, but Max is just so good in keeping them alive, huh? Where Clem makes a lot of things with Terran look so easy, MaxPax makes it look so easy with Protoss, but the kid is so ridiculously good. In the hands of any other ordinary human, I'm not talking about some of the top tier Korean Protosses, like those oracles end up dying, guys. And you get less damage. As now the Adept Shade in deep, the Zergling count isn't really there. Lambo has tried to recover from that economic damage with more drones, but MaxPax is relentless as he shades in deep and gets the Zerglings, and he's gonna get more and more drones. Game 2 is turning, I think, into a tiny bit of a disaster. Well, Lambo is a warrior and he's gonna do his best to turn this around, but we are 6 minutes in, 7 minutes in, and 16 drones have already died. Jeez Louise, MaxPax. And while the queens are busy dealing with the adepts, of course the oracles show up one more time. Oh, this is some ultra excellent high level PvZ coming out of Max. And we've already seen this before in the past. But there's also been some moments where it's like, oh, okay, you know, the Zergs are starting to have a better read on his openings, have a better read on how many adepts will he make, how the oracles move around. I can guarantee you guys that Lambo knows a thing or two about Max, and that he's doing his best here today, but it's just so hard. Not 100% game over yet, even though a lot of pro gamers will tell you, like, if you lose this many drones, the game is over, but sometimes all it takes is one bad blink. And I know, it is MaxPax, and you guys might say, like, he doesn't make bad blinks, but bad blinks happen to the best of us. One misclick is sometimes all it takes, but this is, of course, not the start that Lambo was looking for. Maybe Lambo can find his way back into this main event with a cancel on the 4th Nexus. He does get that. Can he keep his own 4th hatchery alive, though? I mean, he's got a double expense, so this is the one that was further along. Needs to cancel, will cancel. Seems like we're gearing up for some. We gotta go Hive, no? I don't think that Hydra Link would really make a lot of sense with quick Storm on the way. Kind of would. I mean, I know it's difficult, guys. Firing up a hive of 67 drones and thinking that you can get hive tech and lurkers out, but I think it's the only choice you have here as Lambo. That's what Lambo is gonna do as well. It is not a sweet, comfortable position to be in, but I think it's the best thing that he could go for, because just pure sending it with Hydra Link Queen is not going to do it. You're gonna walk into cannons, you're gonna walk into batteries, Archons will be ready, High Templars are ready to drop storms. So lurkers is what you kinda need to go for. And over the last month or two, I have seen some late game scenarios, like proper late game. I'm not talking about 15 or 20 minutes, but 40 plus minute games between these two, where Lambo in the very late game got the best of Max. But it's gonna take a long time before Lambo will ever look at this game and say, yes, this is now the very late game. Because we're talking about all the bases, we're talking about 3-3 upgrades, maybe a lower drone count for a higher corruptor count and lurkers. That feels like it's centuries away at this point. But Lambo is going to try. At this point, the only thing that our German Zerg can do is just defend to the best of his abilities. As MaxPax is setting up the slow Zealot attack. Gonna take a little while. Max is already here with a couple of High Templars. Drops their first fat storm. Maybe has a good read on the fact that Lambo is gonna try to sneak out a hive after taking a lot of economic damage. And that is exactly what it is. This is so difficult for Lambo. The lurkers are taking a lot of damage. The storms are connecting. MaxPax is thinking of transitioning into SkyToss himself, but obviously while keeping Lambo somewhat contained and still being in his face, forcing him to make more units as another big storm lands. A couple of stasis traps have gone off. They create a perfect force field for all of these units to safely retreat. And the storm's connected in a really big way. It is a secret, Anna. There is a bonus incentive. But I cannot get to the bottom of that. I'll keep that between Lambo and me. And Harston. Maybe Reynor knows. But that's it. It's hard to get Lambo to play on the Friday night. Monday night in particular. But even on the Friday night. Few Zealots are gonna get surrounded by Lynx and Hydras. And that does mean that it's going to be the end of the Zealots. There is a War Prism sneaking into the main base. Call it a friendly bonus, guys. From me to Lambo. But that only goes if he wins. So I'm a little bit torn here, because Lambo's a really good friend of mine. But if he wins at the expense of me. So let's kind of hope for a really close series that MaxPax wins. So far, it is looking very good for Max as he snipes the Nidus. And he gets the Overseer as well. A few Tempest on the way. It is obviously important for Max, I think, to kind of keep Lambo on the 4 bases that he's currently at. Or maybe try to find some damage. Because Lambo is terrifying in the ultra late game, or the end game as some people would call it. But we are nowhere near there. Some people that are not that familiar with Starcraft, they will look at a game and they'll be like, oh, this is like kind of late game, right? Lambo's 175 supply and he's close to maxing out, but we are nowhere near what pros would call the end game. The upgrades are not there, the piggy banks are not there, the map vision is not there, the static defense count is not there, and the right units are not there yet. MaxPax is honestly getting pretty close to what I think would his end game army look like anyway. Lambo is nowhere near the army. Seismic Spines and Adaptive Talent are both done. MaxPax eats a couple lurker shots to the face. Maybe Max has been a little inspired by that hero mid-game and early late game that he displayed at EWC. His hero made the Tempest look incredibly good. Maybe some of you guys were looking at those games and wondering, you're like, Roddy, you always said the Tempest are bad. Yeah, maybe I was wrong, guys. If you use them like that, in such an aggressive manner where you're always in the Zerg space and they just don't really have an answer for it, Hero made those Tempests look incredibly good. And it's starting to look like MaxPax has taken a note or two out of the playbook. Because in the past, MaxPax was often a man who would just always go carriers. Didn't really believe in the Tempest. As he again snipes the 5th base of Lambo. As Lambo's just trying his best to hang in there, but all Lambo can really hope for, guys, is abducts with Vipers and then killing the Tempest one by one with Hydras and slowly stabilize. But the Prince of Denmark is having none of it. 3.8k minerals, 2.5k gas in the bank, and he's still attacking and he's still applying a lot of pressure. He's barely lost anything. Lambo losing 8,000 resources more. At this point, Lambo had enough of it. The golden aura is tough, and MaxPax makes it even tougher. GG. 2-0. And that means it is max point for the Prince. It's been a long time that we had MaxPax in the main event, by the way. And that's mostly because I tried to make him play against Serral. And he was mega down. He said it would be difficult, but he was excited. Then I asked Yona a few times, and Yona was just not too interested. Maybe after the mandatory military service is done, Serral will be a bit more interested. But I always wanted to wait with Max until I had something special. Because it kind of feels that, unless it's Clem, MaxPax is a really big favorite, right? Yeah, the problem with Clem is that they play all the time. Like, if I announce MaxPax Clem on the Friday night, it's like, you guys are like, really, Roddy? Exclamation mark Monday? Like, we really need to see this again. MaxPax Reynor is obviously really cool, and we've seen that a couple times. But other than that, I feel like my options with Max are a bit limited. And if you guys think like, what about some of the Protosses, Roddy? Whenever I contact any Protoss, the first thing they say is like, yeah, I'd love to play, but no PvP. that's like what they all say. I reached out to Australia, I was like, hey, you want to play? And they're like, yeah, but not against Protoss. I'll play PvT, I'll play PvC. They don't enjoy playing against the Prince. 2-0, match point, but it ain't over yet.
Round 3. Fight.
I've been a bit sick over the last day and a half, so I apologize about all the coughing, but I think it's not been too bad tonight. It's been a very fun broadcast. I've had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Let's do it. Round 3, bottom right side, taking the 2-0 lead, one map away from walking away with $150 and winning another edition of the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts. This is MaxPax. In the top left side of the site at Delta, we are looking at the main base of the man who is also playing for those $150 and a little bonus from Roddy if he is able to turn this one around. I love him and I always want to cheer for him, but it would also hurt me. This is Shopify Rebellions, a Lambo. We've had a fun night of games so far. I saw somebody in the chat earlier, sorry I didn't catch your name because I think something else was happening, asking if any of the other series were worth watching. Like if you're looking for the absolute highest level of play, I would say like no, it wasn't that. But I do think the games have been very exciting. If you just want some fun, competitive Starcraft of two guys at a similar level, duking it out, I think Alex versus Danny was a really exciting series. And honestly, I enjoyed all three. I thought BabyMarine Chem absolutely had its moments, was fun. And Nidx against Azura was also really cool. Lambo Spirit would be a good matchup. The problem is that it's hard to get Lambo to play. I would love Lambo Spirit, mate, even though they are good friends and they've played many times against each other. Like, historically, that is indeed a really good match. If you guys would see my DM history with Lambo, and you guys would see how many times I've asked him to play, you guys be like, damn, Roddy, leave the man alone. Trust me when I say I'm trying, but you know, the guys often either want to hide stuff or they're taking a bit of a break. They are not really in the era anymore where they're playing Starcraft 24/7, so. No, I don't think Danny is Deny. I think his name is literally Danny. It's just spelled different. I do deny creeps as well. Well, what Lambo would be very down for, and if you guys tell me I should do it, then I can do it, is that he always wants to play with his off-race. He likes to play with his Protoss against any Zerg. He said any Zerg that's not Serral or Reynor, I'll play. And he also likes to play, I think, with his Terran, but mostly he wants to play PvZ in the Big Brain Bouts. And at one point, Elaser also wants to play with his Protoss. Reynor always wants to play with his Terran. That is what I'm dealing with here, guys. I have all these great ideas, and they're like, yeah, that sounds fun, but what about my off-race? And I'm like, oh, no, I don't want your off-race. As Lambo has good defense here, guys, against the Adept of MaxPax. Perhaps the cleanest start so far for Lambo. One little Zergling snuck into the main base, kept MaxPax busy, distracted him, and it allowed Lambo to kill the Adept here of Max. So clean start. I never did a full off-race BBB, but we did have Clem and Reynor play a reverse race one time. Or was it random against random? I don't know. A long time ago, like number 8, 9, 10, whatever it was. We had Reynor versus Clem. Either reverse race or random versus random. Upper 3 versus Barry Showmatch. I've had Upper 3 quite a few times. Sal can say many things, but I've invited him quite a few times in the Big Brain Bouts. So. The Serral versus Reynor TVT on Royal Blood was a banger. If you guys would ask Reynor 5 years from now, what is the game that hurt you the most in your professional career? I think he will hit you guys with the 1v1 TVT versus Serral on the Royal Blood. Reynor was fuming. I know my boy, but that was a sad one for him to lose. The Mac of Serral got the best of him. We can try to sneak it in, but next Friday there will not be a Big Brain Bouts because obviously we have the HeroMarine tournament, guys. Big Gabe is running another offline event in Cologne. I'm still not 100% certain if I want to do it either from home or if I want to drive to Cologne and cast it. But that is happening next Friday. And then I believe this Saturday we have a Home Story Cup qualifier. So I expect J Money Magic to show up in that one and bring his A game. Yeah, it's a second Experian Cup, but it's a lot smaller than the first one. So I think guys like Clem and Lambo and ShoWTime are not coming. But Gabe still asked me to cast it, and he said it's totally fine to do it from home, or if you want to come to Cologne, that's also fine. He said, I can't pay you, but I can pay you in beer. I was like, thanks, Gabe. That's really what I need when I'm driving over to Cologne, a lot of beer. Then I also need to stay somewhere, you know. I was like, so I don't know yet. Ooh, Lambo is so close to killing an Oracle. But I will definitely be casting that next Friday. So next Friday, no Big Brain Bouts, but we'll be back with number 70 on the 4th of October. I think it's on YouTube, Scorpion. If you type in if you do !Basilisk, you'll see a link to the YouTube channel as well. And I think the TVT between Serral and Reynor is absolutely on YouTube. Sleep in my car with all the beers. They've got a nice parking garage next to that Experian. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I've said this many times, and I know this sounds incredibly stupid, but the drive to Krefeld does not bother me. I really enjoy driving to Krefeld. I can almost do it with my eyes closed. That's how many times I've done it. And Cologne is only like 45 minutes further, but I hate driving to Cologne. It's that extra bit when I feel like I'm mentally there because I'm passing Krefeld and I'm not there. And I have to go further and I have to get into the city. And I don't like driving to Cologne. It's too far. So I draw the line. 2 hours and 30 minutes is fine. 3 hours and a bit, not fine. So I think I'll be home next Friday, but we'll see. Few of the adepts get surrounded as Lambo definitely had the best start. Can he snipe an Oracle? Yes, he can, guys. Game 3 by far and away the best start as he saves that drone as well. Look at Lambo. You guys think Lambo ain't a gamer? Lambo's gaming. Snipes an Oracle, kills a adept. Has only lost 3 drones. Other games was it 15-19. Only 3 workers have gone down on the side of Lambo. A beautiful start on the side of the man from the rebellion. What are you doing in Cologne? Rehab? I literally just said it's HeroMarine's tournament. Or is somebody else in Cologne? I can say 5 times, guys. HeroMarine is organizing a tournament in Cologne. Now somebody's like, what are you doing in Cologne? Rehab? Like, no. Classic Starcraft. I mean, maybe I need rehab from that. There are some nights where I do think I've gone a little crazy. But then I close my eyes and I think of Pi saving me with Dynamo. And I feel at peace again. I think that the HeroMarine is open to boosting the prize pool of his tournament. I think that actually Gabe is open to that. But just reach out to Gabe. And if you need help finding him, I can definitely put you in contact. Gabe hasn't shared a whole lot. Whenever Gabe asks me for something, he's like, oh yeah, we want to cast this tournament? I'm like, yeah. He's like, awesome, see you there. I was like, that's basically my interaction with Gabe. But then in real life, we talk a whole lot more. But I don't know a lot about it. All I know is that 1 week from now, the 2nd edition of the Big Gabriel Cup is happening. The Zerglings are gonna catch these Stalkers. Lambo's supply is looking mega healthy here, guys, on Side Delta. It's just been an incredibly clean game by Lambo. There's no other way to put it. For the first time, it is MaxPax is losing a whole lot more. Now, Max is gonna build Tempest. And it's very difficult for a Zerg to kill a Protoss that's building Tempest. So then, we are basically gearing up for the late game. Chat lit up at the mention of rehab. I saw that Bam Margera is in rehab again. Who could have thought, guys? I really thought Bam had it back together. You doing any deadlock after this? I'm always doing deadlock right now, Max. But I don't think I'm staying live. Actually, I have to ask Vicky. We'll see. If Vicky wants to play deadlock, I can stay online and just play some deadlock. If Vicky wants to eat, then I'm gonna eat. And then I'll play a bit off stream later. I look forward to watching you, a Spanish goat. A different Max, guys, with all the plays. We have MaxPax in-game, but we have a Max in chat as well. And that Max is a gamer. 5K American Protoss. Woo! He's built different, quite literally. He's built like a tank. You got a new headset? Awesome. We'll give it a shot. Lambo's gearing up for some sexy Dropalord play as MaxPax, the man who's up 2-0, has a War Prism in the bottom left, but this really has not been the game yet of MaxPax. Can MaxPax pull off a great hold as Lambo activates the stasis trappy? Really wants to take out these rocks. This is, I think, a bit of a painful way to clean up these rocks, Lambo. Lambo knows that. We do have a Nidus going up outside of the main, and here comes Lambo with 4 Dropalords. 1 Tempest does pop, but there are a couple of Hydras in the mix, so maybe this Tempest can turn around and work on it. Losing the Stargates in the fleet beacon though would be mega painful, as these lurkers have gone a bit too deep. That's a lot of cannons here. MaxPax is safe here. Lambo is safe here. It is the main. It is the main base of MaxPax with a real Protoss party. Well, the Zerg party is taking place. If this was a Protoss party, it is one where the Protoss player absolutely needs rehab. Chad was onto something, because this is not going well. 2 Stargates have died, a fleet beacon have died, the mama ship is here. I think the 3rd Stargate is going to fall too. That's mega painful. Lambo with a deadly attack. Beautiful execution so far. Those storms are massive though. MaxPax does have money. As one Immortal goes a bit too far forward, the Immortal dies. I don't know if Lambo can kill MaxPax here. I think what he can do is maybe take out some pylons, take out the main nexus. He wants to get on top of the High Templars. Can he get on top of these High Templars? Not quite. Does snipe one of the Tempest. But the Tempest count I think is a little bit too high for Lambo to stick around forever here. It is a good old Zerg party in the main base as Revelation gets dropped on one of these lurkers from that is attacking Max from the high ground. MaxPax, by the way, has a tiny bit of a reputation for staying in games for a very long time. Now obviously he should never leave here. I'm not saying that he should leave, because he's got 3 bases, he's got money in the bank, but he's probably gonna hang in here for a while. With cannons and batteries and Tempest, MaxPax is not going anywhere. And I can guarantee you guys that he's not in a hurry either. Lambo needs to be careful that he doesn't bleed out Hydras and Queens forever. Like against 2 or 3 Tempests, you don't have to worry too much. He can just send it. But against 5, 6 Tempests, it's a little bit too difficult. You're really going to need Corruptors or Vipers. Lambo tries hard to break MaxPax over here on the right, but MaxPax's defense in this 3rd and 4th base has honestly been impeccable. The main he was vulnerable, and Lambo definitely dealt great damage. But the triangle base and the base over here on the right side has been defended incredibly well as the storms once more land. Max just wants to spend his money. He's like, Lambo, can I get a tiny break please? Stop attacking me. Lambo's having none of it. Lambo wants to attack more. The Tempests are going to show up now as well. A few more storms are here. The mothership is going to take damage. Lambo wants it all after he's taken out all these cannons and batteries. Lambo's playing this like he's a possessed man. He is throwing away a lot of units. He does snipe another base, so that is awesome. That makes it, I think, all worth it as he snipes a Knight Templar too. MaxPax has rebuilt all the Stargates in the natural. At this point, Lambo has lost a few resources more, but hey, losing a few resources more while you're a 5 base Zerg, guys. On 88 drones, and you've taken out 2 of the 4 bases of the Protoss. That's what Zerg is all about. Those are very impressive numbers that Lambo is going to be more than happy with. I think Lambo has, I want to say, done nothing wrong. As long as we get Spire upgrades right now, which he is getting, maybe deny this base. Like, I don't think we have to worry about the triangle. I don't think we need to go for the triangle right now. Lambo wants it. This is painful though, Lambo. You got to be a little bit careful. I think up to this point, Lambo has barely done anything wrong. He's played one hell of a sexy ZVP. But he does need to be careful that he doesn't headbutt his entire army into storms, cannons, battery, overcharge, mothership, and a Tempest. Like, I think this was the base to attack. Lambo will attack it now. It's a little bit later. He does not commit. Does not. Maybe he's trying to lure MaxPax out of position, but a feedback lands on one of the Vipers. There are some High Templars on the ground. They get saved by mothership cloaking. Overseer needs to come back to give some detection, and Overseer does come back. 3 High Templars die. That is big. MaxPax does have a Neo Templar Archives and is forced to cancel this base in the end. But Max still has money. Lambo needs to be careful. Battery overcharge here could probably get used, right? Yes, of course. Coco was onto something. This is starting to look like a hold for the ages. But you can also say, Roddy, shut up. The man is basically on 1.5 base. And that is true. He is on a base and a half. But MaxPax has just impressed me enough that as long as he's on a base and a half, I start believing a little. He is starting to build us intercepts. He's got 6 carriers now, guys, against a man that has 29 Hydras, 3 Vipers with no Corruptors yet. And Corruptor armor upgrades are a long ways off. And Lambo hasn't even taken the center base. Lambo is so rich. Lambo is flying, and it should always be Lambo his game, but Hydras can melt. We've all seen Hydras melt in the past. But the Lurkers are not that useful anymore because it's a pure Skytos army all of a sudden. So getting rid of some of your basic units for Corruptors, I think, is a very solid choice. I shouldn't be worried for Lambo here, right, guys? Like, Lambo has all the money in the world, has all the bases in the world. But what is very, very important is that he gets armor upgrades for the Corruptors. Or more attack upgrades, whatever. But upgrades matter so much in these sky battles. Yeah, he's gonna fire up Flyer Carapace. Because you can have 20 Corruptors, but against 9 carriers with +2 air weapons, Corruptors can melt like no tomorrow. Obviously, you can go for the Loco maneuver. The parasitic bomb on the army. Is Lambo already going to take the fight here? Does he really want to do that? As 2 carriers get abducted. I don't know about this, Lambo. I think it's too early. Man. Like, I feel like we shouldn't be worried here for Lambo, but am I crazy when I say that I'm a little bit worried that he might get A-moved? MaxPax has defended like an absolute lion. And he has kept a pretty terrifying army alive as he now finds a couple of Corruptors that only have +1. A sick time warp gets dropped. Feedbacks land. Are you kidding? Are you joking? Is it actually happening, guys? Can the Prince of Denmark just not be stopped here? Even when he's on 1 base and a half on side Delta against the 5 or 6 base Zerg? Lambo has 12 Corruptors, 16 Hydras. He's coming in from different angles, but I think this Protoss army is better. This Protoss army is bigger, better, stronger, and it's unbelievable what the man who lost his main, who lost his targets, lost his fleet beacon, lost everything, reigns supreme here in a 17-minute game. +2 carriers are nothing to scoff at. This is insane. Actually an insane game. I mean, by both of them, where Lambo played flawless for a long time. I think until we started headbutting here, that's maybe where the first mistake started to show. Up to that point, I loved everything that Lambo did. Wow. Man. Ridiculous. I think the most key play would have just been to deny this base while not running into this. And then getting double fire earlier because he had the money for it and just not lose that many Hydras into storms. But it just kind of felt that Lambo wanted to end it. Lambo felt that he had MaxPax on the ropes, and he absolutely did. Because Lambo played a beautiful, clean, fantastic game of Starcraft 2. He did everything right, had nice multi-prong aggression. And I just felt that Lambo was playing it with a sense of urgency where he wanted to get MaxPax out of this game. But he couldn't, and the Prince of Denmark just survives. Unbelievable hold in the end. With a lot of cannons over here, storms, and had some 6 storms. At one point, he's got 1 carrier, he's got 2 carriers. All of a sudden, he's got all the carriers. Now we're back up to 17 Corruptors. The Corruptors have 1-1, but the carriers have +3. When not even the Loco maneuver is gonna save you, you know it's bad, guys. There is a parasitic bomb on the carriers. The Corruptors get on top of it, hoping that the parasitic bomb is going to kill the interceptors, because that is a thing. But that did not happen, because the Corruptor upgrades are just not there. MaxPax, the Storm Gaming's very own, our royalty, wins this edition of the Basilisk main event. A 3-0 over Lambo with just, I would say, picture perfect early games in game 1 and game 2. And a ridiculously strong hold. Well, maybe the early game on Alcyone wasn't that good. It's the follow-up, it's the disruptor play that really made the difference. Game 2 was just a bit of a clinic, how we've seen it often by Max. Game 3 was a ridiculously great invite. I read invite. Ridiculously great hold, not an invite. GG's, guys. That is going to do it for this edition of the Basilisk Big Brain Bouts. That honestly was very impressive. Paris Bimba, first chat message, followed since 4 minutes ago. Well played to Skytos? Really? Yes, mate, really. Sweet baby Jesus. You make one hell of an entrance into this channel. I'll I'll talk to this later. We have to... Jesus, mate. Now I just want to get carried by Lambo and Deadlock. That's all. Alrighty. Let me go ahead and settle this prediction, and then I'll reach out to Vicky and see if either she's hungry, and if she is hungry, then I'm just going to go ahead and go offline, rate somebody else, and have some food. If that is not the case, we can also stay live and play a game of Deadlock where we can get everybody on Discord and have some fun in that regard. So I like that. You guys believed in Max, and Max delivered. Now, next week, guys, no Big Brain Bouts because of the second edition of the Big Gabriel Cup at the Experian in Cologne. But on the... Is it the 4th? When is that? Yes. On the 4th of October, we will be back with Big Brain Bouts. And actually, on that night, we'll have a special guest as well. As you guys probably saw that Carl joined. I think we're going to try to do something nice with Carl. Maybe he will cast a series with me, or maybe he wants to play. I don't know yet, but we're going to definitely do something nice with him. So we'll see what we can cook up. Overall, I think this was a very fun night of video gaming. I had a great time. I think you guys had a great time. We had some fun conversations. We have Alex getting the 3-2 over Danny. We had Nidix getting the 3-2 victory over Azura. Chem 3-1 over HeroMarine, and MaxPax in the end with a 3-0 victory over Lambo. Does he play SC2? I don't know, but he's a fan. Like, a lot of people are a fan of Starcraft, but they don't actually play, right? So, good night, Bully. Enjoy your stream, mate. I saw you just went live. Would you like those Protoss subs? You know, I can actually, guys, I have a magic trick. I can right now make sure that Bully gets 10 subs. It is possible. But I have to go ahead and check in with Vicky. Actually, I think I'm just going to take a break. There is no need to play Deadlock right now, even though it would obviously be a good moment because we still have a lot of people here. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and raid Bully. I'm sorry, Giuseppe, because I just promised the raid to Bully. I don't want to take that away. But maybe I'll be back. Late night video gaming. Who knows? Some midnight Deadlock. Maybe I'll do off stream. Maybe on stream. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my magic trick. I will raid Bully and he's going to get 10 subs. It's going to be awesome. That's just what I do. That is just what I do. I hope you guys enjoyed the night. Obviously, big shout out to Basilisk. If you guys missed any of the games, what you guys can always do is watch it back. ! Basilisk. There's a YouTube channel. On this YouTube channel, you guys
Every
can
video
watch
project begins with a question.
all the games back. So maybe if you do like wait, can you search here? If you do like Serral Reynor, there's gonna be a lot of hits, I guess. But I think you guys can find the TVT here. I don't know. There's a lot of Serral and Reynor videos, but I promise you guys that TVT is in there somewhere. It's a lot of interviews. There's a lot of just fun content on this channel. So yeah, obviously make sure to check it out. Would be awesome. Would be appreciated. Big shout out to Basilisk for another night of support, gifted subbies, and obviously allowing me to give away 500 buckies. The next Starcraft thing that I'll be casting on this channel should be Monday night, guys. Another edition of the Colaris, Statfest, and Ruddy Cup. That is a temporary placeholder until the weekly is back. Let's go. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subbies. That was not my magic trick, by the way, guys. I wanted to get a different magic trick going. But yeah, the next tournament we'll cast will probably be Monday night. So, replacement of the European Weekly. We're doing it with Colaris and Statfest. Colaris not really casting, he's just supporting. But obviously we love having him. It makes a big difference. Hopefully we don't have to do that forever. Hopefully we are just a couple of weeks away from some great news of the Esports World Cup and ESL. And we have a lot of great Starcraft tournaments to look forward to. But until that is the case, it will still be happening, but it will be happening by Basilisk, me, or the other passionate nerds. That is what we are currently aiming for. I'm going to go ahead and send you guys over to my boy Bully, a great Starcraft 2 player. Also pretty decent at Deadlock, I gotta say. And while we raid him, guys, literally, within 20 seconds, bam, some gifted subbies are coming. So go ahead and give my boy Bully a follow as well. He's a great guy. I believe he's having dinner at the moment. I want to have some food as well. And maybe I'll be back later. If not, have a great weekend. Enjoy F1. Enjoy football. Enjoy Starcraft. Deadlock. Maybe Battle Oasis soon. Who knows? Stormgate. Enjoy it all. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. And enjoy those gifted subs, Bully. It's what I do, mate. It's what I do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.